The first and last points of an NBA superstar's career are memorable, significant, and sad all at the same time. There have been many great players that have graced the NBA hardwood, but the special ones live long in the memory of every basketball enthusiast. From coming into the league as mere rookies to leaving the league as established NBA legends, here are the first and last points by some of the greatest players that have graced the NBA. Allen Iverson, first points. In 1996, the legend of scoring machine Allen Iverson was born as he drove baseline to attack the basket as skinny rookie against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks were called for a goal trending on his attempt, and the first points of his career were on the board. Last points. Fast forward to 2010, and Iverson scored his last career points wearing that same Philadelphia 76ers uniform. Driving into the paint, Iverson felt contact and put up the off-balance jumper that went down with the and 1 against the Chicago Bulls on the road. Kobe Bryant, first points. The late Kobe Bryant stepped foot on Madison Square Garden in 1996 and registered his first points from the free throw line. He drove hard against the Knicks and was fouled, and like so many other times throughout his career, he connected on the 2 freebies. Last points. Ironically, Bryant also recorded his last points of his career at the charity stripe. His farewell game was arguably the greatest performance we have seen from a parting superstar, putting up an incredible 60 points against the Utah Jazz before saying goodbye. Dwayne Wade, first points. Explosive guard Dwayne Wade drove hard against the Philadelphia 76ers in 2003, playing through the contact and making an off-balance jump shot on the left baseline. Wade showed his strength and dynamic upside on the play as he scored the first of many points during his playing days. Last points. Wade had an incredible farewell game against the Brooklyn Nets inside Barclays Center, registering a triple-double in front of good friends Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and LeBron James. His last points came from downtown as he walked into a long-distance bomb as a parting gift. Michael Jordan, first points. Michael Jordan was probably the best athlete in the league, even though he was a rookie in 1984, and his first basket highlighted just that. On the elbow, Jordan spun away from his defender before elevating and hanging for what seemed like forever before banking in his first points. Last points. His airness finished his decorated career from the charity stripe, as his 2 made free throws ensured he averaged 20 points per game as a 40-year-old in 2003. A remarkable career game came to an end, and Jordan was taken out of the game to a standing ovation from the Wizards faithful. Vince Carter, first points. The famous athleticism of Vince Carter was on full display with his first bucket in the NBA. Carter caught the ball on the low block before spinning baseline and rising up for the jump shot that went down inside the Fleet Center in Boston. Last points. Carter didn't have the storybook ending like other all-time greats, as the COVID-19 pandemic interrupted his final season. Nevertheless, he still checked into the game as time was expiring for one last shot attempt against the Knicks, and nailed a 3-pointer off a Trae Young handoff to fittingly end his highlight-filled career. Before we continue with the video, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Dirk Nowitzki, first points. Dirk Nowitzki revolutionized the game for international players and shooting big men, and it's no surprise his first points came from a long jumper in 1998. Nowitzki was the recipient of some nice weak side action, and his picture-perfect jump shot found the bottom of the net. Last points. The last points of Nowitzki's career came against a bitter rival San Antonio Spurs on the road. Setting up at the top of the key, opposition fans urged Nowitzki to shoot as time wound down, and he obliged by letting fly a rainbow jumper that dropped in. Shaquille O'Neal, first points. Shaq was a dominant force in the paint throughout his career, and work underneath the rim led to his first NBA points. Off an offensive board, Shaq pump-faked before being fouled and sent to the free throw line. Surprisingly, he made both free throws with a nice form and follow-through. Last points. The unstoppable force we'd grow accustomed to had diminished toward the latter stages of his career, but Shaq could still be effective down low when put in the right spots. On his last bucket, he intelligently stepped across the key for a nice reverse layup for the Boston Celtics in 2011 before hobbling up the floor. Tim Duncan, first points. Tim Duncan started a Spurs semi-transition move in 1997, and it turned into 2 points moments later. Vinny Del Negro quickly dumped the ball into Duncan on the post, and the big fundamental made a quick move baseline for the score. Last points. Unlike other greats, Duncan registered his last points in the postseason. In an elimination game on the road against a young Oklahoma City Thunder outfit, Duncan received a nice feed from veteran Andre Miller before laying it up and leaving the game silently shortly after. Larry Bird. First points. Larry Bird entered the league in 1980 and made an impact immediately. His first of many baskets came off an offensive rebound, where he intelligently pump-faked and went glass with the left hand to avoid the shot blocking. Last points. Bird was a pioneer for using the backboard to put up points, and his last basket came with its assistance in 1992. After some two-man action on the wing, Bird flashed baseline and stopped on a dime to bank home the short jumper on his last appearance for the Celtics. Magic Johnson. First points. Magic Johnson's first points in the NBA were a sign of things to come for the Showtime Lakers. He played catch with fellow Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which freed him up for the easy layup in 1976. Last points. Magic said goodbye to the game with the same touch and grace he'd become known for. Receiving the ball at the top of the key, Magic recognized a gap and swiftly made his way into the paint for a soft floater that bounced around and settled in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. First points. Kareem's first and last points may have come under different names, but they were eerily similar in execution. As a rookie in 1969, the then Alcindor took a couple of dribbles before swiveling in midair to go off glass for the deuce. Last points. Kareem was still doing work down low at the very end, and in 1989, after receiving an entry pass on the right block, he faked one way and went the other for his last 2 points against the rival Detroit Pistons to end his storied career. The sad reality is NBA superstars don't play forever. We often don't know how good they'll become when they first put points on the board, but by the time their playing days are up, they have etched their names into NBA folklore forever. Looking back at the first and last points of NBA superstars, it's a reminder we must always celebrate greatness when we have the opportunity to do so. Check out some of these videos.